Hello and welcome to another intriguing episode of The Mother's Body, Raising Multicultural Children in the United States. I remain your vlogger, Omolola Adekoya. Yes, it's been some time. I have been extremely busy. And the weather is quite cold. People that knows me knows how I buckle up when it's cold. However, it's been pleasant and beautiful for the past few days. And I don't know why. I really want it to be cold. I love this weather. I just love this season. I love the season not because of any other thing. Of course, I have some other reasons why I love the season, but I love the season because of its feels. It has this feel about it that I can't explain, but I'm just in love with the season. I just love it. Well, winter, bring it on. I'm ready for you. Anyway, don't let's get carried away. If you're just viewing A Mother's Body for the first time, A Mother's Burden is born out of the pressure of trying to raise our children right, the thought of a mother, the burden I as a mother, and of course even as fathers, that we have about our children, the concerns of raising multicultural children. They're multicultural in the sense that our original culture is different from the culture we inherited when we migrated to the United States. And having children in the United States and bringing them up in the United States, their culture, their values will be different. So we as parents have to have our own values. Our values will guide our culture and will help us guide our children appropriately and accordingly, even for them to grow up to become men and women of integrity, men and women that will make their nation and make God and their parents proud, and that will also make themselves proud. Very important. They have to make themselves proud, make God proud, and make their nation and their parents proud, and this program is born out of that. And over time, I've been seriously thinking about, okay, what am I going to share next? And this has been a form of concern to me and as well to a few of my friends, because I remember my friend and I, we usually talk about this. I actually had to buy a sewing machine even, before my children started growing up. And I was thinking I could start making their dresses if I ever find time to do that, and it's amazing because I think of dressing. How do I want to dress my children, and how I want to do it for my children boils down to how have I been doing it for myself. If I've not been doing it right for myself, it will be difficult for me to do it right for my children. I first off have to look at myself, and like I always say on this vlog, everything I want to do with my children starts with me, and considering how busy we are, you're busy as a wife, you're busy as a mother, you're busy as a career person, and you want to get things right at work, you want to leave work at work and come home and be a wife and a mother, you want to do things right, but most of the time we drop the ball. Now, our responsibilities as mothers is cut and dry. There's no two ways to it. Our responsibility is cut and dry. However, the path to which we all go or we all move to achieve this responsibility is not cut and dry. I can choose to go through 695. Somebody can choose to go through 95. Somebody can choose to go through 275 or 295. Somebody can choose to go through 257. Somebody can choose to go through 895. The route to which we all take to arrive at achieving our goals, our responsibilities as mothers is different. But as we are taking this different route, are we putting into consideration the right thing to do? Now, dressing is something that's a biggie for me. If you know me very well, you will know that when I dress up, I like people dressing to fit. I like people dressing right. When I say right, I mean right. You don't need to buy very expensive clothing. You don't need to buy the best designer or the reigning designer. But even if you're buying your clothes from the dollar store, I want to make sure that you are getting it right. Your coordination, your combination is right. You know, you're not exposing anything unnecessarily. You're not showing off anything unnecessarily, but you want to bring out the glory of God. And this starts way back in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, when Adam and Eve, when they sinned and they had to be chased out of the Garden of Eden, the Lord didn't just chase them out naked. The Lord made clothing to cover their nakedness. You know, and the Bible says that our body is the temple of God. And if our body is the temple of God, and from the beginning, God made coverings for this body so that it will not be unnecessarily exposed to the element. It will not be unnecessarily exposed to those that, you know, are not supposed to, you're not supposed to expose it to. You know, we have to take cognizance of that and be conscious of what we wear, what goes on our body, our skincare, how we care for our children, and how we care for ourselves as well. But first, I'm going to start with mothers. I'm going to start with parents, not just mothers, fathers especially as well. You see, it's disheartening to me when I work with people a lot, and every time I go out and I see fathers wearing saggy pants. Saggy pants. I mean, their pants is all the way to underneath their butt. Underneath their butt. I wonder what kind of a responsible man. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying everybody that wears saggy pants are not responsible. But it does not portray you to be responsible. As a father, you want to teach your children the right thing. Should you be wearing saggy pants? I know some people will criticize me for that. But hey, let's be factual. When you are dressed up to go to work, do you wear your pants saggy? Do you wear saggy pants? Some men will even go to the store, instead of buying their sizes, they buy the smallest size so that when they sag their pants, it will get up to their ankle. I mean, come on, men. We are men, fathers in the house, the head. The Lord gave you the headship to be responsible for everybody in your home. If as a father you're dressing that way, how would you correct your wife if your wife is not dressing right? How would you correct your daughter or your son if they are not dressing right? You see, fathers, even if you're going to keep your hair bushy, keep it tidy. Don't just leave it. Look, I don't know. I am fetish when it comes to our appearance, the way we dress. But you see, when I see a lot that I am like, oh no. And children grow up in this household with this person in it. If you want to dread your hair, if you want to do dreadlock, keep it neat and tidy. Don't just leave it out and make it look so dirty and so unattractive. You know? If you want to do something, go all out and do it, and make sure you do it nice, that people will see it and like, wow, I never knew it would turn out this way. Look, I always say something. Every mistake in fashion is a design. You know, every mistake you make when you're dressing up or when you're making a dress, it's a design if you know how to go around it. Now, when you are dressing and there is a mistake in your dressing, turn it into a style. Every mistake is a style. Turn it into a style. But you are dressed as a father and you're underpants. Everybody on the street can see your underpants. That doesn't portray a picture of a responsible father. That means you don't mind your children walking nude on the street. That's for the fathers. The fathers are moderate. Now we come to the mothers. As a mother, it starts from the house. If I'm in the house and I'm wearing, I'm not saying don't dress to attract your husband. Yes, please, go ahead and do that. But be mindful of your children. You don't want to dress in a way that your children will think, oh, okay, my mom dresses that way, so it's appropriate. Look, when I was single, or when we didn't have any children, when we just got married and we didn't have any children, I dress like almost nude in the house because I know it's just my husband and I. And when I was single, I was living alone in the house, so I can choose to walk around in my house nude or half naked It's just me. But some parents, some mothers don't get it. They still feel in the presence of their children, I have to flaunt everything I have. No. Being a mother does not mean you have to be an old maid. Being a mother does not mean the way we dress is cut and dry. Spice it up. Don't show unnecessary cleavage. Don't show things that you're not supposed to show unnecessary. If your boobs are big, find a very good bra to pack it up. Don't make it look saggy. Don't make your daughter feel like, okay, I can dress saggy, I can wear saggy bras. No, it starts from what we wear from underneath up onto the outside. What you wear underneath carries what you wear on top of it. I'm still going to go on children, but I want us as parents to get it first. Because if you don't get it as a parent, I don't know how your children will get it. If as a parent I'm wearing low-cut waist pants that is showing all of my underpants, that is so not appropriate. My daughter and I came up with something, and we tagged it, I see London, I see France. And I got that through Diana Gresh's program and some of her books that I've read. Very awesome books. If you have not read anything about Diana Gresh, I would advise you. Diana Gresh, DANAHGRESH. Go get some of her books and read. They are if I get her books and read, they're very good books, And she and I started looking out for each other. Some parents will say, I'm in the house, and so I don't need to wear a belt on my pants or my jeans. And the jeans is falling, especially for mothers, it's falling down your waist. And your underpants, your son is seeing your underpants, and your daughter is seeing your underpants, and you're dressing up in the presence of your children. You're nude, walking the house nude in their presence. And when you wear your cloth, sometimes your boobs are showing, your bra is showing, your underpants is showing, your belly is showing, your backside is showing. Come on. I don't know about someone else, but to me, those things are irritating. You can criticize me, but being a Christian mother, and I think that's why we should stand out. Even if you don't believe in who I believe, even if you don't believe in the manual that I believe in, we should always strive to live a decent life. And I think that's what every normal human being should do. Try to live as a decent example. Apart from your children, there are other children out there that are watching us. And remember, I have said something. These children are not us. God entrusted these children to us. They are on trust. So it is the way we live our lives. They will learn from us and live their life like that. It takes the grace of God for them to break off of any bad habit that we instill in them. Well, I'll have to take a break here until I see you sometime next week. Sometimes later on, we'll be talking about dressing for our children.